Okay. Well, so good evening. The idea of this class is to be prepared at least more or less to the holidays, to know what we should do, what we shouldn't do, what are the laws, what are the customs. And mainly it's also, I mean, if you have questions about what we should do in the holidays, so it's for that. I do want to start with like general explanation about all the holidays, and then we go one by one. We have many days, many details. We cannot cover all the details. Some of the details are we already learned between Mincha and Arvit every day that we have the class. So Luis have heard some of the halachot. Anyway, so we have in the Jewish calendar two systems of holidays, or maybe I would say four. We have what is called Shlosha Regalim, which is Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot. This is a system of three that has its meaning. And then we have what we call the holidays of the 7th month of Chodesh Tishrei, which is Rosh Hashanah, Kippur, and again, Sukkot. So the two circles end with the same holiday, with Sukkot. This is the two systems of holidays that we have. This is from the Torah. Then we have another two holidays that are from Chachamim, which is Chanukah and Purim. This is not from the Torah, it's from Chachamim. And then we have what we call the modern holidays. Welcome. You can come. It's at 8, no? Yeah. This. Yeah, okay. You can take something if you want, and then, of course. So, and then we have what we call the modern holidays, Yom HaAtzmaut, Yom Yerushalayim, also the sad days, Yom HaShoah, Yom HaZikaron. So this is the fourth system of holidays. So we are talking now only about the two systems that I said before, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot, and Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot. So the idea of the three regalim, again, there are many ideas to explain all these three and the process of three, but they have basically two meanings. First of all, it's the agricultural year. Pesach and Shavuot is a time of the harvest, starting from Pesach, which is a harvest of the barley, and then Shavuot, the time of the harvest of the wheat, also, well, of course, in the land of Israel. And then Sukkot, it's the time of the asif, collections. What does it mean, collections? They used to leave the fruits in the fields to dry during the summer, and before the winter to collect all the harvest. So the time of the collection, Chag HaAsif, it's Chag Sukkot, when they collected all the things. So we can see here like the process of the agricultural year. And then we have also the national meaning. Chag Pesach is a day when Am Yisrael was created. Hello.
Sure. Or I
should have known that I should wait a little bit, and people come after.
A rabbi that starts on time.
I'm not Jewish enough, right?
He clearly takes after the president.
Okay, I just repeat that the purpose is to learn a little bit about the halachot and the customs of the holidays, because many times we don't remember exactly what we should do, what we shouldn't do. And more than everything, I would like you to ask if you don't know. If you remember, I try to answer, and if I don't know, I would say I don't know, I check it for you. Okay, so any question you can ask. I just wanted to start with just a general idea of the holidays. So we explain about the two systems. We have the Shlosha Regalim, Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot, and we have the holidays of Tishrei, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and also ends with Sukkot. So the Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot is a national development. We start with the creation of Am Yisrael in Pesach. Then in Shavuot, we receive the Torah, meaning the guidelines, the way we should live. It's like we can say in Pesach, it's the creation of the body, and in Shavuot is the creation of the soul, of the meaning, of the purpose of everything. And then Sukkot is the conclusion of this process when we can build the house with Hashem. We build the Sukkah, the house of Hashem, and live in it. We can also say it's like in the Kabbalah, it's like the wedding. Right? It's a process of a birth, growing, and then we are getting married with Hashem. So this is one system of holidays. The holidays of Chagei Tishrei, the holidays of Tishrei, it's other idea. It's development of our relationship with Hashem also, but in other meaning. In Rosh Hashanah, we're starting by making Hashem our king. We accepting Hashem as the creator of the world, the creator of the human being, and then we are accepting him again as our king, right? And then in Yom Kippur, we are cleaning ourselves, purifying ourselves in order to be closer to him. And we are elevating in a way that we are like angels. We don't eat, we don't drink, all the days in the synagogue. We are very, very spiritual in this day. But the purpose is not to stay in the synagogue. The purpose is to go out to life. So after this elevation, by distance ourselves from the material world, we go back to the world with all this energy and all this purity that we acquired in Yom Kippur, and we go back to the nature. We go out from the house, we enjoy from the fruits, from the beautiful fruits of Arbaat Aminim, and connecting ourselves to this world and taking all this energy of Yom Kippur to the holiday of Sukkot. We can say in that meaning that Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot is from down up. We're starting from the creation of the body, the soul, and then living with Hashem. Rosh Hashanah is up, down. We're starting from Hashem is a king, and then we purify ourselves, and then we're taking that to our real life, to the real world, we'd say. Anyway, all this process is ending in Sukkot, and more exactly in Simchat Torah, in Shmini Atzeret, Simchat Torah, which is a conclusion of everything. So this is generally about the idea of the holidays. So we finished the first part of the class exactly on time. So we just explained about the general idea of the holidays, but now I want to explain a little bit about what we should do, what is the idea of the holidays. So this is what we are going to, the idea already saw. What are the rules, what are the laws, what are the customs? First of all, do you have any question? Maybe we start with the questions. Any questions that you need to know about the holiday, things that you're not sure about, the laws, or...
I get confused with Havdalah, because Havdalah, sometimes we do Havdalah at the end of the Chag, not just in Shabbat.
Yes,
But
okay.
we do sometimes Samim, sometimes just.
Okay, I will explain that.
Yeah.
A very good question. So about the Havdalot. So we have in the Motzei Shabbat, we have 4 things that we are doing Havdalah. We are doing on wine, we are doing fire, besamim, right, fumes, and fire, and then the bracha of the Havdalah. In holidays, we only do 2. We're doing the first on the wine, and the last on the Amaruch HaMavdil Ben Kodesh Lechol. Only 2 things. Unless it's happening on Shabbat. I mean, if it's holiday and Shabbat, we do both, and we do it as Shabbat as usual. The only thing that is different is Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is special because we do make Havdalah on fire. Right? So usually all the holidays, only wine and the last bracha. On Yom Kippur, we had also fire, but there's a special condition. The fire must be what we call Ner Sheshavat, meaning a candle that was on during the whole day. Meaning that before Yom Kippur, we are lighting a candle, on a Ner Neshama normally, and in this same candle, we say the Havdalah. So if
You don't
You don't even
have
have
the
Havdalah
flame,
candle?
you make it right
on the same candles that you say that you did before Yom Kippur. Now, if you forgot, and it's happened to me a lot of time, if you forgot to have a candle from before Yom Kippur, you should ask for someone else and take fire from him. But you cannot make new fire. If you don't have from who to ask, you don't have any fires that was lit before Yom Kippur, you cannot say Havdalah on the fire of Yom Kippur. The other, you do say about the wine and the bracha of Baruch HaMavdil, we do say only about the candle. We only do on Motzei Yom Kippur when we have a candle that was lit from before. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask about the other end of it. So it's Shabbat. Shabbat is the day of Yom Tov. So anything special?
Shabbat what?
Shabbat this year is the first day of Yom Tov.
Yes.
So
So in Motzei Shabbat, in the Kiddush, we have a special nusach. That we
no, but
say,
for Shabbat.
yes, and in the end of Shabbat.
But what about
in the first,
what about on Shabbat? Like, we don't do the usual Shabbos songs?
You can, so the songs of Shabbat? Yeah, you can do. Why not?
Oh, you don't do it quietly? Just, you know,
No, as
embarrassing
usual,
yourself.
Shabbat, you can do Shabbat as usual. There's no any difference about that. Okay,
What about shofar?
okay. So shofar, we don't do in the first day. So let's start from this halacha. It's in the list of the halachot. So this year we have a special Rosh Hashanah, when the first day of Rosh Hashanah is also Shabbat. So there are some differences from the usual Rosh Hashanah. First of all, we don't blow the shofar. This is a special law. It's very hard to understand because blowing the shofar is mitzvah from the Torah. And Chachamim said, you don't do that. So how the Chachamim has the power to cancel a mitzvah? They said, if you blow the shofar, you may take it when there isn't any eruv, there's no place, so we don't want you to make mistakes, so don't blow the shofar. So we see the power of Chachamim. Sometimes Chachamim, the sages, can cancel a law from the Torah when they see that it's needed, right? So this is the first change. We don't blow the shofar in the first day, only in the second day on Sunday. The second change is that we don't do tashlich in the first day. We do the tashlich on the second day for the same reason. We don't want to carry the sidurim in the places when we don't have a roof. Yes, I mean, yeah, we are meeting and going to the river. I've been told, I don't remember right now who was it, that if someone is maybe Astrid, that if someone is too far for him to go to the river, he can go to their house. They have with fishes, with fish. Yeah, yeah.
We did touch like an aquarium.
Yes, it's preferred. It's better to do that on the river, but if you prefer to do that at house, you can do that. Also, the advantage is that we are going to together, and we can say the Kaddish in the end, and it's better to do that. I mean, if we have minyan, we're going to say Kaddish and things, so it's better to do that together.
Sunday, right?
This is Sunday, yes, Sunday. The third change, which we should remember. So we have the mitzvah in Shabbat to do shalosh seudot, 3 meals. What are the 3 meals? Friday evening, Shabbat morning, Shabbat afternoon. In the holidays, we don't only have 2 meals, in the evening and in the day. You can eat if you want more, but the mitzvah is to do 2 meals, right? So in this year that we have Shabbat, we should do 3 meals, right? The evening, Friday evening, Shabbat morning, Shabbat afternoon. But if we do Shabbat afternoon meal, a big seudah, so we won't be hungry enough in the Saturday night. So it's a good thing to do that as earliest as possible. But we have to do shalosh seudot, yes. The third seudah can be without bread. It can be only fruits or something, but we have to do the third seudah. So many times, for example, we are doing like after returning from the tefillah, a small seudah, only eating bread and resting a little bit and then doing another seudah. But we should find the time to do the 3 seudot early, relatively. So this is the third halacha related to Shabbat. Well, all the other things are the usual. I mean, you know that in Yom Tov, usually we can cook, but in Shabbat we cannot. So we cannot cook in this first day of Rosh Hashanah. And all the other things, in Yom Tov we can carry things we don't have here. Unfortunately, we don't have a roof. So Yom Tov we can take everything that we want, but on Shabbat, no. So this year, Shabbat, also after that, the holidays of Sukkot, and also after the holiday of Simchat of Shmini Atzeret, all of these holidays this year are on Shabbat. So the first holiday we don't have. Yes, they are asking here if there's Seudah Shlishit at Shul this week. The answer is no. It's too complicated. In Shul we don't do, but we do have to do everyone in the house something. Again, it don't have to be 3 plates meal, right? But you should do something.
And
yeah.
You can't prepare for
from the second Yom Tov. No, we cannot. Yeah, we should do everything after Shabbat is ended. Okay, let's see, there's another question here. No. Okay, any other question, or I'll start and then you will remember all the other questions. Okay, so we're starting from Rosh Hashanah. Okay, so the most important part of Rosh Hashanah, the biggest mitzvah, the most important mitzvah is Tkiyat Shofar. Unfortunately, this year we don't do that on Shabbat. Not unfortunately, we just don't do that on Shabbat. We do that on the second day. So there are many, many halachot around the shofar, the mitzvah of shofar. Most of them are not relevant for you, are relevant for me. So I should know how to blow, and if there is mistakes, if it's okay or not okay, what's kind of shofar, etc. So I won't teach now all the halachot. I just want to teach you the halachot that are relevant for the people, for the public. So first of all, we are doing mitzvah. We must have the kavanah, meaning the intention to make the mitzvah. So when the chazan or the tokea is going to blow, he's going to say the bracha, everybody should think, I want to make the mitzvah by hearing the voice of the shofar, and then the tokea, the one who blow, think about the public, and the public think about him, and that's the way we can do the mitzvah. So this is one thing. Like I said before, it's the only mitzvah of Rosh Hashanah that is from the Torah, that it's very important to do that. Also, if you cannot arrive to the shul for any reason, or maybe I should say it before that, this is mitzvah that is in certain time. It's only on Rosh Hashanah. And it's a positive mitzvah, meaning some active thing that you have to do. This kind of mitzvot are not obligation for a woman, right? A woman is not obligated to do mitzvot that are in certain times. It's the same, for example, Arbaat Aminim. The women don't have to do Arbaat Aminim, to sit in the sukkah. They don't have to sit in the sukkah. They don't have to put tefillin. Why? Because tefillin is at a certain time. I won't explain now the reason why women don't have to do that. I just say this is halacha. So when I say that it's most important things, it's for the men. The women are not obligated. But Baruch Hashem, the women of Am Yisrael are very, very tzadikot, and they want to do things even they are not obligated, because really this mitzvah is really meaningful. It's so beautiful, and it makes you feel and connect. So most of the women I know want to do this mitzvah, which is a good thing. So like I said, it's very important to do that. So if someone, for any reason, or if you know about someone in a walk distance that cannot come to the shul, it's important to take care of him, and I can go, and I'm sure that other people also are willing to go and make this mitzvah for him also. Okay, so if you know about anyone here in the neighborhood, we can do that. If someone cannot come, we can do that. We can go and help him in this meaning. Okay, this is very important because, like I said, this is the main mitzvah of Rosh Hashanah. Only one thing that we should know, if we are going to someone else to do that, there's the issue of the bracha. If it's a man, I cannot say bracha for him. I mean, I can say bracha for him because it's the same level of obligation. But if it's a woman, I cannot say bracha for her. So she should say the bracha. In the case that, again, she's not in the shul, you are going to make it for her, she should say the bracha. Okay, this is about that. Any question about the shofar? I mean, there are many other halachot, but this is the most important. Yeah.
Doesn't it say repent silently during the shofar?
What?
I think in the Siddur or the Machzor, when it says shofar blowing, it says repent silently, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Like you're not supposed to talk about sins.
No, but it gives you that paragraph that wants you to
Is that the
Okay.
Yeah.
So we talked about it a little bit on Monday. I will repeat that. So generally during the tkiyot, you are not allowed to speak. You should be in silence because you must hear and not speak. And in Rosh Hashanah, we generally don't mention sins. Right? We don't say vidui, we don't say chatanu lefanecha, we don't speak about sins in Rosh Hashanah. This is for Yom Kippur. Rosh Hashanah is not for that. Even though, you know that sometimes according to the Kabbalah, there are things that are deeper than the normal level of understanding, and I don't understand exactly the differences. But there was Ari HaKadosh, maybe the most important Mekubal, he said that during the Tkiyot, in between, you should say vidui. Right? You can say the vidui is a confession. So this is Kabbalah, meaning you are not obligated to do that. And if you don't feel you want to do that, you don't have to do that. It says that it's a moment, the shofar is like our lawyer in the heaven, the sentence in heaven. So it's a time that you can use this power, energy of shofar in order to make a confession and to purify from the sins, okay, to get forgiveness for the sins. But it's not an obligation, okay? So it's not something that you must do. Okay? Any other question about the shofar?
What's the most important kavanah or mitzvah that first blowing?
What we should think about it. So, first of all, like I said before, we should think we are doing now the will of Hashem. We are doing the mitzvah. By hearing, I'm doing the mitzvah of hearing the voice of the shofar. This is the most important thing. After that, well, there are many explanations about all the idea of the shkiot. I'm sure you remember every word of the drasha of the jet last year, so I don't have to repeat that. Yeah. I just mentioned that there are two, we can say two movements. Movement from heaven to earth and movement from earth to heaven. The movement from heaven to earth is Hashem calling us. It says, wake up. Wake up and think about your ways and remember your creator. Zichru et borachem. Remember your creator. So meaning Hashem is calling you, just listen. Hashem is calling you and what Hashem wants from me, what Hashem wants to tell me. So this is one, it's from heaven to us. Hashem is calling us. The other movement is from us to him, meaning the how do you say it? The seed of the prayer. It's the most basic prayer before the words. Usually when you pray, you say words. Give me that, thank you for that, I praise you for that. So you are expressing specific things. Before the words, we have the voice, the pure voice, without any specific meaning. And this is we calling to Hashem. Whatever you think, we just want to connect with you. We need help in the parnasa to sell a lot of real estates. Yeah, so meaning you don't have to, I don't think you have to specify. You just have to connect with the moment. Hashem, I want a good word for me, for my family, for the world, for everything. Just help me, okay? And so this is, I don't know to say what is more important. Hear the voice of Hashem or express your voice to Hashem, what you must connect in this moment. But all of that is on the meaning of the kavanah, the intention of I'm doing now the mitzvah that is written in the Torah, that we have to hear the voice of the shofar. Okay? Now, this is the most important. There are things that are also important, but less. And I just want to mention in few words the custom of the simanim. And again, there are some things that we talk between Mincha and Arvit. I'm sorry for those who hear that already, but I just repeat it very fast. Yes, so the simanim. The Gemara says, simana miltahi, meaning symbolic actions that we are doing in Rosh Hashanah have meanings and are able to influence our year for the good or for the better. So that's why we do special things in Rosh Hashanah, like a sign, symbolically good things that will help us during the year. So these signs may be eating sweet things, or maybe eating things in a form that remind us specific things, or that the names are remind us specific things. And these are the things that we are eating in Rosh Hashanah in the dinner of Rosh Hashanah in the 2 days. For example, tapuach bidvash, a sweet apple with honey, because we want a sweet year. So this is according to the flavor. And we eat, for example, dates, tamar, when we say sheitamu even, because of the name of the tamar, meaning that our enemy will finish, right? Working for 2,000 years already. So we ask Hashem to finish with our enemies. It's according to the name. And then we eat also the head of a fish or the head of a sheep, and saying, Hashem, please make us a head and not the tail. And there are many other simanim, many other meanings. So it's a good thing to do. It's written in the Gemara, it's in Shulchan Aruch. It's not just games of children. It's an important, good thing to do in the dinner of Rosh Hashanah. I just mentioned few halachot. What? The 2 nights.
You do them both nights?
That's what we do, yeah.
Okay.
If-
And like, how do you pick like between say Rubia and Weeks, or like when you're going through the simanim, everybody's got a different thing to eat.
So basically, it's the same things that that
no,
are in
it's
the
the same
Sidurim.
bracha.
What?
Yeah, it's the
Symbol-
same
symbol-
bracha, but
symbol
it's
is
not
the same.
necessarily.
So I
the
think
same
like it's a
food.
symbolic. It's not something that I mean you have to be so worried about. While it says this name in Hebrew and the meaning, and it says a prayer, it's work. I mean that's
Okay.
that what has to happen. What?
It's big enough.
Yes. So so there are different. Again, we have different customs. With Ashkenazi and Sfaradi, between the Ashkenazi, we have also different customs. And so we have many, many different ways to do that. All of them are okay. Just pick your Siddur. If you know what was the custom of your family, it's better to stick with the custom of the family. If you don't know, just take the Siddur and read according to the order, or before that, download from the internet, and you can do that. I just want to mention two things. First of all, there are different ways, but the best way to do that is after Hamutzi. Meaning you're doing Kiddush, you're doing Hamutzi. There is a custom in the Hamutzi to do that instead of salt, to put in honey or in sugar or something sweet from Rosh Hashanah until Simchat Torah. And after the Hamutzi, we are doing the Simanim. Now, if that's when we're doing that like in that way, we don't have to say the brachot of Borei Pri Adama and Shakol Niyeh Bidvaro, but we do have to say the bracha of Borei Pri Ha'etz. That is something that is important. Even though we already say the Mutzi, Ha'etz, it's not considered part of the meal, so it's require its own bracha. So some say the bracha on the dates, which are Borei Pri Ha'etz, and others say the bracha on the apples that are also Borei Pri Ha'etz. And then the simanim. That's the only thing that, again, there are other customs, but this is the Ashkenazi custom, and that's what is recommended also.
So I was taught last year, the year before, that we're not really supposed to use actual like honey, like bee honey. We're supposed to use date honey, date syrup.
I don't think so. First of all, there is something truth about it. When the Torah says honey, it means dates. When we said, for example, Eretz Chita or Sora, Gefen Torah, Eretz the Shemen Dvash, the Dvash, the honey of the Torah is called, is of dates.
Yeah.
But here in this case, it's not something from the Torah. The Torah didn't tell us to eat apple with honey. It's not written in the Torah. The Talmud said. I would say another thing. The tapuach, the apple that is from the Talmud and from the Zohar or whatever, it's not the apple that we have today. This fruit wasn't in the Middle East, it's from Europe. Yeah, you can also eat this.
I tasted it last.
Yeah. So just finish that. So the names. The important again here. It's sweet.
So it's okay to use date honey?
Yeah, it's okay to use date honey and also bee honey. It's also it was sugar. Yeah, it was written, for example, I think Prema said sugar. It doesn't say honey.
I think it was
Yeah.
when I was documenting.
Okay,
The
maybe.
dates.
Yeah.
So if we say Borei Pri Ha'etz,
Yeah.
do we need to make an after bracha, or is that being covered by that?
No, you don't have to say after bracha. It's covered by the bracha. That's the reason. That is the reason that the custom to do that before Hamutzi is complicated. I tell you, this is the custom of my community. Of North Africa, to do the simanim before Hamutzi. The problem is that exactly that. So you're not sure if you ate enough. If you have to say bracha achrona, you don't have to say bracha achrona. And it's always you ate too much, and you too much, and then it's a halachic problem. So that's the reason I recommend everybody to do that after Hamutzi. Okay, that's a better thing. Yeah.
Another question.
Yeah.
Are there foods that we're not supposed to eat?
So there are some that it's written. For example, it says not to eat egoz. Egoz.
But it's
nuts.
specific nuts.
What
Yeah.
kind of nuts?
There's a list.
I don't know.
of
It's walnut.
specific-
I don't know exactly what, and the reason is because in Gematria it has the same, how do you say Gematria, numeric value as sin. It's the same, and it's also said not to eat bitter food or too citric. How do you say chamutz?
Oh, sour.
Sour food, because again it's sign. The signs, you don't want a bitter year. You don't want a yeah. I know. Shane is here. He's looking for you. Okay. Okay, that's about simanim. Another halacha related to the meals. I mean, you know that's the most important part of the holiday is the meals. Another halacha. So you know that we have to be happy in the holidays. How we are becoming happy? By eating meat and drinking wine. That's what it says. And sugar. So no, that it's written that en simcha ela bebasar veyain, that we should eat meat and drink wine. This halacha is related to the day. We must do that in the day, not in the night, because the day is the main meal of the holiday. So it's recommended, it's halacha, almost obligation to eat that. And when you're speaking about wine, wine with alcohol, not grape juice. So this is a special mitzvah, to eat and drink. Now, it's recommended that everybody would do that. But you know there are some people that really suffer from that, or that they are vegetarians or stuff like that. So in this case, it's not obligation, right? If you are suffering from that, you feel bad, so the idea was to make you happy, so don't do that. But all the other regular, normal people that enjoy meat and wine, you should enjoy in this way also in the holidays, and it's right to all the holidays, meaning first day of Rosh Hashanah, second day of Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, no. Sukkot first day, Sukkot second day, Simchat Torah first day, all the holidays in the middle of the day should be recommended to be with meal. Okay, so this is about the what? It's halacha.
So meat,
So
beef only or lamb?
yeah, beef or lamb. I mean everything that has four legs.
But chicken.
Yeah, chicken not considered meat. So it's
Unless you
what
buy
I-
a four-legged chicken.
yeah, right. So again, what do you mean it's obligation? The halacha says you should do that. So generally it's obligation, but if you say, well, I'm suffer, so you are extended from the, as you say, excluded from this. Yeah, you have a heter, how do you say, excused from this halacha. It's like heter, but I mean, you should use that only if you really need that. If you don't enjoy it, you suffer from that, so don't do that. But all the rest of the people should make the effort. If you're the one, you know what, sometimes I eat meat, sometimes I don't eat meat, so eat meat in this case. That's the idea.
But not chicken.
Chicken is not, no, it's not considered meat. Chicken, it's,
For that,
It's better. No better.
yeah,
What about fish? At which point do you have to have fish?
you don't have to have fish.
Shabbat?
So Shabbat, it says in some places that in Shabbat it's good thing to eat meat, fish. It's a custom to eat fish, and that's I think the source of the gefilte fish, right? Well, that's the reason that everybody ate now not, but in the past ate gefilte fish because it's recommended to eat fish on Shabbat. It's not the same level of obligation as meat in Yom Tov. It's like a custom. It says. מי שאוכל דג ביום דג ניצול מדג. We explained that in the, have you heard that sentence before? מי שאוכל דג, the one who eat dag, a fish, ביום דג, in the day of dag. What is day of dag? Dalet is 4, Gimel is 3, 7. So if you eat in the day 7, dag, ניצול מדג, will be saved from Dalet Gimel, which is Dinei Gehenom, the laws of hell. So it's a custom to eat fish on Shabbat to be saved from hell. Okay, but it's a custom. So if you want to go to hell, it's okay not to know.
I think
I skip
I've
that.
already solidified that.
Okay. And so this is about Rosh Hashanah. Again, there's a lot more than that, but that's the basic. Any question about that? Yeah.
There is a minhag not to sleep. It's like minimize yourself.
Yes.
So when you talk about suffering,
Mhm.
if the wine is going to put you to sleep, forget the wine.
Oh, what is better?
You have two.
I think that wine is more important than not to sleep. Because not to sleep, it's not halacha, it's just a custom. Again, from part of the science, you don't want your luck to sleep during the year, so we don't sleep on Rosh Hashanah. I didn't meant to speak about it, but I mentioned all the things that are important to know about it. There's a very famous custom not to sleep on Rosh Hashanah in order that our luck won't sleep during the year. If your luck slept this year, now you know the reason.
So like, don't take a nap. Like, you know,
So,
Rosh Hashanah day.
Yeah,
Get up
So-
and be on time.
during the day.
You're the 8
So-
o'clock reader.
There are many, it's written in many places, in many books. It's based again on the Kabbalah. It's not something that is in Talmud or something like that. And the thing that we must remember about that, it's a beautiful custom, we should do that if you can, but it's also written. If you're not doing anything useful, it's like you're sleeping. I mean, if you are fighting not to sleep, so you play your phone in Yom Tov, it's not a good thing. It's not working. Okay, it's not the idea. But also, if you decide to spend the time reading newspapers or gossiping or something like that, it's not the idea. The idea is to be awake and do useful things like praying, like talking Divrei Torah, like learning something. This is the idea. The idea not only to be with eyes open. Okay, that's not the idea. The second question is, well, if I cannot concentrate in the tefillah, if I'm upset and angry because I didn't sleep enough, and I talk not in a nice way to my family because I didn't sleep and I'm a little bit upset, so it's not a good thing, right? Always remember there are priorities in life. Like I said before, shofar is the oraita. This is a custom. Remember the priorities. So there's a custom that even not written in the Talmud, so it's less than eating apple with honey, not to sleep. If it don't make you damage, do that. If you do that correctly, do that. If it makes you not concentrate in the tefillah, etc., don't do that. So if you want to do that, it's only during the day, and also many opinions say until midday. So you don't have to do that until the night, until midday. Now, midday, it's not 12 o'clock, it's around 1:30, because we are going about the Jewish day. So you should wake up, and also there are two customs. They'll say, wake up before dawn, very early, like 5 something. And then during the day, you are awake until 1:30, around 1:30. I don't know exactly the hours, the midday, and then you can go to sleep. Others say, no, not from dawn, from the moment you wake up. You wake up in the morning, 7:30, before the tefillah, more or less, and then you are awake until after midday. Okay, so these are different customs, and some say until the end of the day. Okay, that's about the custom of not sleeping on Rosh Hashanah. Okay, we're going to continue now to Yom Kippur. Okay, so 10 days passed, and we arrived to Yom Kippur, and again, in Yom Kippur, we have the own mitzvot of Yom Kippur. We started learning also today between the tefillot. The first mitzvah in Yom Kippur is to make tshuva. And making tshuva is mainly through confession. So the tshuva contains 3 parts: the decision not to repeat the action, the sin, regret on the past, and saying the confession. Saying the confession during the tefillah, this is a part of the tshuva. And also, this is one mitzvah. I won't talk about it right now. There's a lot to speak about the tshuva, but it's less practical now. The second mitzvah that is special for Yom Kippur, apart from being holiday, and we cannot do things that are not allowed to do on Shabbat, etc. It's also what we called inui. Inui, we can translate it as suffering. The Torah tells you should suffer. What? Afflict yourself, right? The Torah showed you suffer. No. So what is the meaning? What is suffering? So we have 5 prohibitions: not to eat, not to drink, which is 1, not to wear shoes, not to wash ourselves, leather shoes. Well, we can speak about it soon. Not to wear leather shoes, not to wash ourselves, not to use creams. They used to put oil on the body to make you feel better, and not having a sexual relationship. These are the 5 things that are considered as affliction that are not allowed on Yom Kippur. 2 of them are from the Torah. Not to drink and not to eat are the only thing that are from the Torah. So what is the idea of that? Why should we do that? First of all, suffering is part of the tshuva. We are punishing ourselves for the sin in some way. So you say we did that, so now the real punishment is forbidden, right? It's forgiven. You don't have to have the real punishment because you made yourself suffer. The second way to explain that is just you don't care about it right now. You don't care about having pleasures and eating and drinking. You are so concentrated in the spiritual part of connecting to Hashem, to purify yourself. You don't need the work, the eating, and etc. You act like angel, right? This is the second idea. It's like you disconnect yourself from the body for 1 day and concentrate only in your soul. So this is maybe the idea of that. Well, and not like other fasts, also sick people or women that are pregnant or given milk or nursing women are obligated to fast in that day. And as long as it's not risking your life. So we know that risking the life is not allowed anyway. I tell this story every year. It's a famous story in my family. My father was born in Yom Kippur, and my grandmother didn't want to eat, and the rabbi of the city, of the synagogue, came to her house to give her by himself the food. So that's the reason I'm here, because if not, I don't know if they would have survived in some way. So we must understand that it's not allowed, not only it's allowed to eat, it's not allowed to risk your life in certain cases when it's risking your life to fast. So you must eat. For example, very, very common is diabetes. If you have diabetes, sometimes it's not, I mean, I don't know the medical situation, you should consult your doctor, but many of the people that have diabetes are not allowed to fast, okay? It's not feeling bad, it's not very weak. If you feel weak and bad, just stay at home and don't come to shul, stay in bed. It's better not to eat and stay in bed. But if it's arrived to a level when it's risking your life, it's not allowed to fast. What's happened in this case? So you are allowed to eat in the case that it's risking your life. If it's possible, and only if it's possible, it's recommended to eat what we call leshiurim, meaning gradually, because the idea is we are not allowed to eat in Yom Kippur nothing, but if you eat less than certain amount of food and drink, it's considered less bad. I mean, it's not so bad as doing that as eating normally. So we should eat certain amount of food or drink certain amount of drink and wait for a certain amount of time and then eat again. It's called shiurim, meaning on and off, right? You eat, wait, eat, wait. So what are the amounts? Starting from drinking. The drinking says, the Gemara says, melo lo gmar. What is melo lo gmar? You fill the house and one cheek, like that. So it's individual. I can't tell you amount, it's individual. If you know you're going to have to drink during the holiday, and you know that you can do that, again, if you cannot do that, if it's risking you in any way, just eat regularly. But if you know you can eat or drink gradually, so you should check how much is it more or less. You put it in the mouth and put it in a glass, and you know what is the amount more or less, and then you drink that, and then you have to wait. And there are so many opinions how long you have to wait. So just choose between 1 minute to 9 minutes. Okay, so there are different opinions. If you can wait 9 minutes, it's the best. If no, so less. 1 minute is the minimum. Okay, and about eating is kebeitza, which is 30 samak. How do you say something? It's in volume. Cubic centimeter. Right, 30 cubic centimeters.
Samak is cubic centimeter.
What?
Samak.
כן, סנטימטר מעוקב.
Centimeters, cubic centimeters.
Yeah, which is around
No.
1 slice of bread or 2 slices of bread, more or less. This is the amount. So this is the amount that you have to eat less than that. And here, in case of eating, it's between 4 and 9 minutes. To wait between the times you eat, 4 to 9 minutes. Now, another recommendation that I heard many years ago, I didn't check it, Baruch Hashem, I didn't have to, but it says that if you have to drink or bread or eat, it's better to do that with grape juice, because it doesn't matter what you drink. If you drink, it doesn't matter if it's water or juice or whatever, and grape juice has a lot of sugar that give you energy. It's a very, how do you say, available energy. It's not that the body doesn't have to process it. So it's a good thing if someone is it's feeling very bad. So if you already drink something, do that with juice, grape juice. Grape juice, yeah. Okay, this is about eating. I hope that nobody would have to do that. The second halacha is about washing, wash yourself. So the second thing that are not allowed, of course, to go to the bath, it's not allowed. But it's everything is not allowed. I mean, you're not allowed to wash your hand, to wash your face in the morning, etc. So in this case, when someone will really, really feel bad by not washing his face and cannot concentrate in the tefillah, it's bothering so much he cannot handle it. So it says it's allowed to take a little bit water in the hand and clean the eyes or something like that, or that's the maximum that is allowed. It's also allowed, say it's allowed to wash your hands going out from the bathroom or from the washroom, or for in the morning when you wake up you have to wash your hands, but until only this part of the hand, right? Until where the fingers end. What? Knuckles. Okay, until the knuckles. Also cases that are allowed. A mother prepare food to her children, and the children is dirty, or the spoon is dirty, or the tomatoes had to be washed. Don't give your children dirty food. So, okay. It's okay to wash it. I mean, it's something that is for this use, right? And again, if someone is dirty for some reason, he can wash this place specifically. You know, he got some dirt on his hand, so he can wash it specifically. Okay, but all other kind of washing is not allowed in Yom Kippur.
Is that Torah or is that?
This Chachamim, it's Chachamim. Yeah, the prohibition of the Torah is only not to eat and drink.
No, but is not washing also mean not using underarm deodorant?
What?
Underarm deodorant.
Right.
Yeah, so this is the third prohibition. It's another one. You don't use creams,
What about spray on?
not spray deodorant,
You can't
always.
spray on.
No.
Well,
Everybody come to the shul with something on the nose.
And that's rabbinic. And that's rabbinic.
It's also rabbinic. I said only the eating and drinking. But I must say that for us, the rabbinic is the same level as the Torah, unless there is a good reason not to. So usually we just treat the rabbinic prohibitions the same way we should. The same way. Why? Because the Torah itself tells you, listen to the rabbinic orders. The Torah says that.
They didn't know about deodorant.
No.
Until 1100 years there wasn't.
No, but it doesn't allow to put some kind of materials on your body in order to feel better, let's say, something like that. What?
They had perfume.
Yes, they had
The
perfume.
Egyptians did.
But certain deodorants close up the pores from sweating, and others are just treatment. Depends on what kind it is.
Okay, the next prohibition is to wear shoes. And you mentioned what is known usually, generally, that it's not allowed to put leather shoes, right? Leather shoes. This is opinion of many rabbis, but it's not very clear. So what's the idea of the shoes? Why we are not allowed to put shoes? The idea is that we don't want to feel too comfortable. In the old days, the ancient days, they put shoes, someone put shoes, many people walk without shoes. And if you want to feel more comfortable, you put the shoes and then you can go wherever there are, whatever, right? So the idea is shoes that are comfortable. In the old days, only leather shoes are considered really protective, that could protect your leg from the land. So there are opinions that today all the shoes are very comfortable. So you should go with home shoes that you can feel the ground, so you won't be comfortable.
Like slippers.
Like, yeah, slippers, so things that are not, that's the idea of shoes. So that is one opinion. Other opinion, the most of the opinions, so the most of the opinions do permit to put any shoes that are not from leather, and that's what I also do. I mean, don't feel bad if you just choose to do. But I just want to mention there are two opinions. One opinion is only what was in the times of Chachamim, what was the decision of Chachamim. This is a decree. We don't have to add things, new things. They said leather shoes. That's what we are doing. That is many rabbis said that. Others said no. It's that you have to understand what the idea is. The idea is that you don't have to be protected from from suffering from the land, and we are here to suffer, like you said before. So put shoes that you won't feel comfortable walking in the streets. Okay, this is 2 ideas, and you can choose what you want to do.
But not leather one,
No,
What?
but not leather one.
no, but
Not
you-
ladder. Oh, okay, yeah. So only ladder we should still keep. No, in this case, it's not Ashkenazim's fault.
So Yana said put rocks in her.
You can do no. Don't do
It
that.
was a good idea.
Non-leather shoes, one size fits
Where
all.
your favorite shots
That's
are
really
really
helpful. And stand for
Okay.
like 5 hours.
Now, a little bit about children. A little bit about children. In children, we have 3 levels of ages. The first level is called Gil Chinuch. Gil Chinuch is the education age, which starts when the children start to understand things, right? You can explain this is good, this is bad, right?
25?
Depends, yes. There are people that don't understand that until they are 8.
Girls, for guys, it's 40.
So, but normal people usually arrive to this degree when they are 5, 6 years old, more or less.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So from this age, we should start educate them, not in fasting. It's not a good thing that little children would fast. It's not healthy. So not fasting, but other things. For example, you should say to them, today we are not going to do shower, right? Because today is Yom Kippur. And if they can go with not go with leather shoes, so don't go. You explain them, this is Yom Kippur, this is a special day, we don't put this kind of shoes. You should choose other shoes that you have, right? So this is part of the education. They're starting to understand the idea that there are limits, there are things that are allowed, there are customs that we are keeping, right? So it's the age of 5, 6. But fasting, it's not yet the time.
No, but you can tell them no candy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that because Yom Kippur is not a sad day. I would say that on Tisha B'Av. Yom Kippur is a happy day. It's not a sad day. We don't eat because it's part of what the Torah told us, but it's not that you have to be sad on Yom Kippur. So it's okay. If they eat candies, it's also okay.
What about leather clothing?
I don't know if the rabbi gives candies in Yom Kippur in the shul.
No,
Okay,
no, I don't.
I don't know.
okay.
Leather clothing, a lot of people think that they can't wear clothing or belts and.
Even law, right?
No, belt is allowed.
Or
Like
or
no
leather.
leather, just shoes.
No, no,
or
no.
leather.
They're in a-
It says leather too.
No, that only shoes. Yeah, there's anything, nothing bad on leather, apart from the fact that it was a live creature before. But first of that, it's not a problem with the leather. It's a problem with the shoes of leather. Only that. Okay. So yeah, we continue with the children. So this is the first level. The 5, 6 years old. It's starting to say this is you don't use deodorant. I mean, you don't use deodorant. But you don't wash. You don't put shoes. What? Yeah.
No shower, no.
Yeah, it's a happy day. Like I said, you celebrate Yom Kippur by not going to the shower. In the age of 9, they are strong enough to start and understand the idea of fasting. So usually we start what it's called leshaot, meaning hours. For example, if usually they eat breakfast at 8, you suggest them to eat it at 9 or at 10. You don't have to obligate them. But you should tell them, today's Yom Kippur, let's eat a little bit later. There are some children that don't eat dinner. Again, it depends of each one. And I tell you the truth, many children want to start practicing fast before the age of 9. It's just exciting for them. They want to, to show if it's like a challenge. I fast until, I can tell you my children, I had children that did that very good and did it from very young age. And I have some of them that it's like around 20 minutes after Sudan of Seket, they already broke. I can't wait anymore. I must eat something. I fasted to 20 minutes, good enough. Yeah. So it depends on each one, but from the age of 9, more or less, we start to educate them. It's recommended to start fasting, not like other fasts, only on Yom Kippur, from 11 years old. It's recommended to try to do the whole fast from 11 years old. And starting from 12 years old, it's obligation for girls, and for boys from 13 years old, like the bar mitzvah, right? But it's also for boys and girls, it's recommended to start trying to do the whole day from 11 years old. Okay, this is about the fast and about education. Okay, now there are the tefillot, but yeah, we're doing more or less together in the synagogues that you're going to see everything and everything's going to be okay. The next holiday, any question about Yom Kippur? Comment? No?
What's the best use breaks the fasting?
We are going to serve here without Hashem fish, right? I don't know. In our house, they used to do special cookies. It's called Ugat Shoshana, rose cookies. Mufleta, no, this is in Pesach. At the end of Pesach. We break in the fest of Pesach with yeah, but, what?
Avoid trace is not the best thing to say.
Yeah.
Okay, I do have a question.
Yeah.
So if you have to take medications and medications have to be taken at a specific time every day,
Mhm.
right? Can you use the amount of water to take your medication?
It's
Or is that gonna
recommended
be
if it's possible.
breaking the-
Yeah, so it's recommended if it's possible to take the medication without water, if it's possible. I think it's possible. I mean, I tried that. If it's not possible, so yeah, if you are obligated to do that, to take it, there's no other options. It can risk you, then you can do that with a little bit of water. Yeah.
Twice, because
Yeah.
before bed and then in the morning.
Yeah, but for example, if you have to eat before them, and if not, you're going to have a little problem with the stomach, so don't do that, right? But yeah, if you can just take the medicine without water, it's better.
There's new medications for diabetics now, that make the mouth extremely dry.
Mhm.
And usually you need
You need to
half of
drink.
a mouthful of water or something, otherwise it's so dry it almost hurts. So,
And there isn't any other option to take other medicines or stuff like that?
Well, you can't just change for one day, right? Like,
Yeah.
So if you're gonna change a medication. it has to be
Again, if it's impossible, so like I said
I mean,
before, you
listen,
cannot risk
you
yourself.
can take the medication without water, but the medication has the effect of, after a few hours, of making the upper part of your palate and your throat extremely dry. And so, maybe on Yom Kippur, you're supposed to ignore that. I don't know.
If you can't ignore it. If not, you can try to take it as late as you can. And then it's gonna be already after Yom Kippur.
Oh, I think they make those seats.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but you gotta, Rosh Hashanah is too full of time.
No, Rosh Hashanah, it's okay. You don't have a problem. You can drink.
That's right, okay, so Yom Kippur, you're right.
So yeah, if you can take it as late as you can, maybe it won't affect you in the time that we're on.
is
So-
there a waiting time until you can eat after Yom Kippur?
You can eat regularly meat after Yom Kippur. It's not a problem. It's only Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av, it has so there's a question. So did you say spray deodorant is not allowed? Yes, I say that. Yeah, spray deodorant is not allowed in Yom Kippur. Yeah, one day we would survive. Baruch Hashem.
There's a yogurt on the market, it consists of a stone of some sort.
Yeah, I
You
saw
would
that.
rub the stone on,
Yeah,
And I suppose that's not allowed.
Yeah.
no, it's every material that makes you improve. Yeah,
Oh, you're
The
not.
next
everyone
person
around
covered, you don't.
Yeah.
cover.
yeah. Okay, so another. Okay, we continue now to Sukkot. So Sukkot really is, I think, the holiday with the biggest number of mitzvot and different ideas and mitzvot, so many mitzvot. It's a very special, and like I said before, it's taking all this energy of holiness and bring it to real life, to the nature, to the fruits, to the outside, etc. So there are many, many ideas and mitzvot. We won't speak about it right now. We'll speak about the thing that we must do. So first of all, Arbaat Aminim. Again, many, many halachot, what is kasher, what is not kasher. I just want to remind you to buy from the shul, not from the shul, to order in the website, and they will bring you kosher Arbaat Aminim, so you don't have to worry about that, right? So there are kosher Arbaat Aminim can be ordered in the website. But remember that, yeah, remember that. the mitzvah that is more something that we have to be concerned about is the mitzvah of sukkah. I try to say the basic halachot about building the sukkah. So there are two parts to the sukkah, the walls and the roof, the ceiling. The walls basically is very easy. There aren't any halachot. You can use a house, you can use other things. It should be wall, or if you're not doing wall, it should be with distance of less than 3 tefachim. For example, if you're doing with strings or something like that, it should be close enough. Okay, it's better less than 24 centimeters between one to another, but most of the cases you just have a normal walls, it's okay. The minimum of walls that we need is 2, and another one which is Sheva tefachim, around, let's say, 70 centimeters, the third one, right? But 2 full and another one. And again, usually we just do the normal, and this is about the walls. About the ceiling, this is important. We have some conditions. The first condition, it must be something. It must be made with something that grew up in the land, like plants. Okay, cannot be anything else. The second thing, it's something that is not. It cannot be impurified. Lo mekabel tumah. How things are getting impurified? First of all the things that are a result of human effort or working. I mean, if you made from something utensils, some tool, this is something that is mekabel tumah. You're not allowed to put it as seiling, as chach. This is one example. Other example, all the foods are things that are mekabel tumah. So everything that is food, you cannot use it. So don't put, I don't know, the apple itself, or how do you say chasa? Chasa. Lettuce. Don't put lettuce as a seiling, okay, as a schach.
But apple tree.
Well, yes.
But is it okay to decorate your sukkah, like to hang fruits?
Yes, if it's not, it's like decoration. If it's not very big, so it's considered as a place for itself, it's okay to do that. Okay? So this is basically the... Oh?
So you can put, let's say, apple branches?
Yes, but yeah, not the apples itself. If there's one apple there, it's okay, but it's not enough space. Another thing that is important to remember about building the sukkah, so you can see a sukkah that is perfectly good and it's not kosher without anybody even can know about that. Why? Because you didn't build it in the right order. The halacha said you must build it the same way you build a house. I don't know how they build house nowadays, but in the old days, first of all, they used to build the walls, and after that, the ceiling. So if you put first the ceiling, after that put the walls, it's not kosher. So you must first take care that all the walls are okay, and then after that only put the ceiling. This is about the schach. Okay, this is about building the sukkah. Again, if there are special cases. The third condition, that the schach should be, we said, it should come from the land, it should be a plant, but it's not connected right now to the land. For example, if you are under a tree, it's a problem. It should be under the sky. Okay, so today we usually use just what is called schach netzach, which is something that we use every year. It's like what? Bamboo mat.
How
Yes.
is it not man-made?
Yes. So the bamboo itself didn't have any change. They just connected to each other, but it's original. It's like Hashem created, right? It didn't change it.
You're supposed to be able to see through the. It's not supposed to.
So
be
it's a recommended, not obligation. If you cannot see, it's still kosher. The other way, it's more problematic. If it's too much sun, until the majority of the space is with sun, it's not good. So it's better to put too much than too less. Okay, but yeah, it's better to be able to see the stars through the ceiling. Yeah.
Is it okay to put like 2x4s, like
What?
lumber?
Planks.
Like
Planks.
So if I understand correctly, I'm not sure. What's it? איך אומרים בעברית? Wooden.
No,
Boards.
Boards, like a board. It's
Okay.
cut.
So there is a problem with that. If it's too wide, even though it should have been kasher, Chachamim said not to do that because it can be replaced with a permanent roof. So if it's too wide, we don't use it. So again, it's better to use just natural branches and leaves and stuff like that, or to use the bamboo mat.
What if people here use spruce?
What?
Spruce, like a shrub, that's a shrub.
Because it's a tree. It's without doing anything to that. Okay, now the last halacha related to Sukkot. I just want to say, so we have Sukkah, what we are doing with it? Basically, we should just live there. It's our house. But what does it mean living? 24/7 as long as possible. But this is recommendation. But people usually don't stay in their houses 24/7, even though today we have a lot of remote work. We don't stay in our house 24/7 usually. So you can go out. What do you have to do in the sukkah? So basically, there are two things that we must do in the sukkah, even though we are not doing that right today, but that originally was sleeping and eating. That's the two things that define your house. You eat in your house and you sleep in your house. So these are the two things that should be done in the sukkah. Originally, that was used to be happen, but mostly the Ashkenazim, in some point, they stopped sleeping in the sukkah. No, not for that. First of all, I can understand why, in Poland, in November or October, you don't want to sleep outside, right? It's even here, it's sometimes uncomfortable. So, and there is a general rule that say if you suffer in the sukkah, suffer is for Yom Kippur. In the sukkah, you shouldn't suffer. So if you're suffering in the sukkah, you don't have to be there. So this is one explanation. There are other explanations that you have to treat the sukkah like your own home, like in your house. In the house, usually you sleep in the same room with your wife, most of the people, hopefully, in the same room. In the sukkah, it's not a thing that you can do. So it's not, you don't have your privacy, you don't sleep in the same room. So if you cannot live there as you used to live normally, don't do that. So that's the reason, another explanation. According to that, people that are not married maybe should. I had some friends that exactly was he did like that. Before he was married, he slept in the sukkah. After he got married, he decided not to sleep in the sukkah anymore because of this explanation. Anyway, I said general custom of the Ashkenazim. The general custom of the Ashkenazim is not to sleep in the sukkah, even though there are that do sleep in the sukkah. Again, here in the far north, there also the reason of the weather is good enough not to sleep in the sukkah. Also for the Sfaradim. What?
Never an excuse.
Yeah.
Never an excuse?
Always.
Yeah. Okay.
I rarely.
And it's okay to heat your sukkah electric heater.
What?
The
Yeah.
heat with electric heater.
It's allowed. Yeah.
Always got industrial gas heaters.
Yeah, it's allowed to heat the sukkah. Just be
Oh,
very, very careful because we don't want fire. Just be careful. But it's allowed to heat the sukkah. So the second thing that we must do is to eat in the sukkah, right?
You said,
Yeah, to eat in the sukkah. So basically, it's recommended to eat everything in the sukkah. But again, also in the normal life, sometimes we eat outside the house, right? So not everything is obligated to eat. It's obligation to eat in the sukkah, fruits or stuff like that, not. But if it's a meal, so usually, for example, bread, you should do in the sukkah. Wine, you should do in the sukkah. If you are sitting to eat a meal, do that in the sukkah. The bracha of lishev b'sukkah is said only on bread or for Ashkenazim also everything that is mezonot. We also say lishev b'sukkah in the sukkah and read that in the sukkah. You don't say lishev b'sukkah on a piece of fruit. Okay, so this is about that.
Maybe saying on bread. I mean, why wouldn't you say Leisha B'Sukkah the minute that
you just get inside?
You
So this is, if you're Temani, that's what you should do. The Temanim, according to Rambam, so they say just your presence in the sukkah is good enough. You enter, you say the Sheva Sukkah, and then you sit. Other opinions, and that's what all the other communities do, is you have to do the Seder Bracha on something that is practical. You're tangible. You're eating the sukkah. So if you just enter and go out, you don't the Sheva Sukkah, not sitting. So we are connecting the bracha with the eating.
Is the obligation to eat in a sukkah the same when you're not at home, and say you're at a restaurant or somewhere?
So it's recommended not to go to restaurants on Sukkot unless you're in Israel and there is a sukkah.
I'm talking about in Israel.
But if you are if you are in a trip or something like that, you don't have to fast. It's recommended to find a way that you eat things that are not obligated to eat in the sukkah. But if you don't have any other options, you can eat. But that's exactly the reason why it's better not to go outside in Sukkot. Now, another halacha about eating the sukkah, last halacha is in my list. In the first night, there is it's mitzvah from the Torah to eat in the sukkah. In the other nights, if you want to eat, eat in the sukkah. If you don't want to eat, it's okay. But if you want to eat, do that in the sukkah. In the first night, not only if you want to eat in the sukkah, you should eat in the sukkah. So for the first night, usually, like I said before, if you are suffering in the sukkah, it's also you don't have to stay in the sukkah. For example, it starts raining, so you can go home. You don't have to eat in the sukkah if it starts raining. Or if there's a lot of mosquitoes, so you say mosquitoes or something like that, and you suffer in the sukkah, you can escape home, right? But in the first night, you must eat at least something in the sukkah. The first kazait, you have to do a motzi and to eat the first seudah in the sukkah, and only after that, if it's raining, then you go home to continue at home. If you started eating in the sukkah and it's rained and you went home and it stopped raining, you don't have to go back. You can stay and finish your eating in the house. Any other questions or comments?
It's okay if one of the walls of the sukkah is actually held by a house. So it's
Yes.
house,
Yeah.
but instead of the wall.
It's even better because that's the way the wall is the best made.
What do you do if all the stuff blows off? It's a big deal. We had that happen.
Go home. Go to supper.
Yeah, go home. Don't suffer.
Yeah,
Go
there's nothing you can do about that. Nothing you can do about it.
You have
No.
to wait till.
Remember?
What?
You have to wait till.
And the
cold weather
beer-
to prepare.
Yeah, you cannot do anything during the holiday.
Well, can you tie it or wait?
You
Put
can.
things that
Yeah.
will hold it from blowing
Can
off?
tie
Yeah.
this
Can you tie it down?
So to tie with the string, yeah, it's allowed. There are opinions that not only the schach itself should not be made by, for example, iron and stuff like that. Also, the thing that supports the schach shouldn't be with iron. But this is only one opinion, so it's better not to do that. But if you see it can blow or something like that, it's better to tie it instead of doing the chumrah of not.
Is it a requirement that you take the middle of the net ribbons?
No requirement, recommendation. So it's a good thing to say the first bracha in the sukkah with the Torah, and then after that go to the shul. Many people don't do that, and they do the bracha in the shul, which is okay again. And well, I repeat maybe another halakha about that. I mentioned that women are not obligated to do the mitzvah for bat minim, but many women want to do that, and they can. It's okay. It's a good thing to do. The thing that about the bracha, we have different between, again, Ashkenazim and Sfaradim. Sephardic women that want to take a bat minim can, but they are not allowed to say the bracha. While Ashkenazim, the custom of Ashkenazim that all women that want to say the bracha, they can do the mitzvah and say the bracha.
Is there something about, like, let's say my husband bought the minim, but is he like lending it to me, or is it okay? Like,
It's okay to give it to you. It's not okay to give it to a child under 13 years old in the
give it to
first
him?
day,
Oh.
because he can acquire, he cannot give. So it stays him. And in the first day, we must own it. So in the first day, we don't give it to children unless we already say that the bracha, and we don't have to give to. Maybe I mentioned this halacha also. So the halacha says that in the first day only, you must say the bracha of arbat minim on your own arbat minim. You must own it. So many times there are one only. There used to be only one arbat minim in all the city. So what they have to do? I have it. I give it to you as a gift. and you give the other one as a gift. So you can do that. If someone arrives to the shul and he doesn't have a bat minim, you can give him as a gift. But if he's a child under 13 years old, he can own it, he cannot give it back to you. So you don't give it as a present, as a gift to a child under 13 years old. It's the first day, if there is some other that have to do the mitzvah after that. That's the only one.
But
So-
then you don't have to give it to them, for them to, for Shana.
yeah, after you did it, it's okay. After you did the mitzvah, and there isn't any other adult that have to do the mitzvah, it's okay to give it to
Again, you don't need to worry about that if you're not. you
him.
don't
Giving
give
it as a
to-
gift.
You don't give it to him as a gift. He has no obligation, she has no obligation to do it,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
you
Don't
just-
give, you say don't
yeah,
give it as a
kinda,
gift.
just say, You want to see what this feels like, you want to practice, whatever here.
Mhm.
Oral.
Okay, to learn it. Okay, yeah, yes.
When, first day is Shabbos, how does that?
But, so we don't do a bat minim on Shabbat.
Yeah. There's the obligation to transfer. Second day.
So no, it's second day. It's already the Rabbanan. It's not the Raita, so we don't have all this halachot. Yes, so this year all this is not relevant, right?
But in store, in the second day, you
Yeah, we do. In second day we do as usual. Just say it's not the first day of the Torah,
Yeah.
so we don't. It's not
Do you know
what Oshanot.
Oshanot
Yeah,
on
it's not on. It's on Shabbat. Yeah, so we don't do on Shabbat. We do regular days.
Friday or
Yeah, it's gonna be Friday. It's gonna be Friday, right? Yeah. Friday we do Oshanot.
Sundays? Is it a recommendation to sing in this?
We must be happy.
But no tap dance.
Let's see. Sing for a second to see if it's a pleasure to hear you, and then I tell you. Yes, very good. Okay, very good. Thank you. Any questions? Oh.
Special, with, filling?
So most of the people I know don't put tefillin on Chol HaMoed, but there are some Ashkenazim that do put tefillin on Chol HaMoed. Again, it depends on your custom. I don't put tefillin on Chol HaMoed. Most of the people that I know don't do that, but there are some specific. In Mexico, there used to be some kind of, I don't know where they came from, but they used to put tefillin on Chol HaMoed. So there is a custom to put, but if you don't know what is the custom of your family or something like that, so don't do on Chol HaMoed. It's not suffering. Tefillin is not suffering.
It's good for your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Stand the back.
I'm gonna send you.
Just a second.